So you're tired of affirming, visualizing the perfect scene to get into the state of the wish fulfilled, scripting to manifest the life you really want, right? And maybe you're not seeing little to no movement or no changes in your circumstances. So that's forcing you to ignore your circumstances. And I get it. Doing affirmations or visualizing a perfect scene to get into the state of having your desire isn't wrong. You're doing those affirmations because you want to get into an empowering state, right? But let's backtrack for a moment. How do you decide what is the most empowering state? Is the most empowering state based on one story of, let's say, I am lovable, or I am successful, I am thriving, or I am wealthy? Or is the most empowering state your true self, which is infinite, which is love, which is full of abundance, which is beyond a particular state? So if you're aiming for an empowering state, why not aim to know your true nature? So for instance, I had this fear of abandonment, which rarely shows its face nowadays, but it would show up a lot in my very close relationships, which would make me overthink. I mean, I'm sure you've been there, right? Like where you overthink every text. Why aren't they adding that extra smiley? Why is it just 3 words? And why is okay K and not OKAY with an exclamation point and an emoji, right? I mean, at least that's how I used to overthink even the littlest of things. And so I would, anytime there was a conflict, in whether it's in a friendship, whether it's with a colleague or with anybody else that I was close to, I would feel like the moment I disclose my displeasure or something that I don't agree with, the other person is just going to walk away, or going to take like weeks on end to get back to me, or for us to have the same kind of relationship or friendship that we used to have. Okay, but then I started to do something different. Instead of letting fear control me, I decided to explore it, to understand it and feel it. And then as I kept doing that, I recognized that words like fear, anxiety, upset, good, bad, ugly, they're just overlays on top of what is actually happening in this moment. So my question to you is, what is true of this moment? What is currently present in this moment without the overlay of all of those thoughts? No, just take a moment right now, whatever you're doing. Take a moment to reflect on this question. What is true of this moment then? What changes do you notice in your experience right now as you play with this question? Do the labels, the overlay of thoughts, do they actually define this moment? No, they don't. And this realization will allow you to connect with this present moment, this infinite, abundant, loving, wholesome experience. This is the space from where your desires manifest. This is the highest state of being. And I know you're trying to aim for the best sort of state. I mean, who can blame you? You do want the things, right? There's no point denying that any of us don't want the desires, whether it's a small desire like a piece of cheesecake or something that feels colossally big, like an improved relationship or a new relationship, or great amounts of success in a particular field. I mean, we've all heard teachings that make us reach for a perfect state, for some other experience in the future, and trying to claim it as now. something else, some other higher level. But what if you could see that whatever you've been searching for is available to you in this moment, regardless of how many layers of healing you've done, how many kinds of past issues you've resolved or unresolved, no matter what level you are. Maybe this is the very first video you're even coming across. I'm Anila Reddy, by the way. I didn't even get a chance to tell you this in the beginning of the video. So the key to manifesting the dream life, your dream life, is to embracing the present moment. And no, I'm not talking about forcing yourself into this moment. There's no question of force. It's about recognizing what's present. What is true of this moment without the overlay of your thoughts? What's happening right now, and embracing this experience. So let's do this experiment. Just take inventory and notice the presence of what's here. Ask yourself, what is concretely happening in this moment? What is this that's here right now? Without getting caught up in labels, perceptions, simply explore your concrete experience. The sensations, the feelings, and the palpable sense that I am present in this moment. Palpable presence of life itself. And as you do this, you'll see that there's more to life than the labels we've assigned to them. And this way, you're not trying to ignore the labels, you're not trying to ignore the narrative you have about your circumstances. That happens naturally where those circumstances stop bothering you. Now, let's take an example which is neutral, like breathing. What is this experience of breathing? We use the word breathing to describe a concrete, real experience, right? But what is it really? What are the particles that this breathing is made of? What is your experience of breathing without assigning the label breathing to it? If you didn't know anything about breathing, what is your experience of it then? What is the feeling of breathing? Again, without getting lost in the labels of it. By asking these questions and exploring this concrete experience, now you're understanding how ungraspable this moment is. It's not as scary as the labels we've assigned to them. Again, pause and go through this video again, just to try it out in a neutral situation, and then take these questions that I've asked you into a situation that feels tense at the moment. And then tell me what your experience of these situations are. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. So I think there's this Buddhist sutra that I once read. It says, form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So when you're using these questions to explore the concrete nature of your reality, then you realize that yes, form is tangible and it's present right now, but it's empty of substance. It's empty of all the overlay, the labels, what we think it is, and it is ungraspable and actually mysterious, which is what makes this moment interesting, intriguing, and full of life, and the perfect ground for your manifestations to blossom. Because when we stop trying to chase fulfilling states, satisfaction, through affirmations, visualizing scenes, or scripting, whatever you've been using, and you recognize and you stop trying to define and controlling your experiences, that's when you recognize how fulfilled and already perfect this moment is. It's like you're naturally resting or falling back into the fulfillment when you're exploring these questions. So we become free of this endless game of chasing fulfilling states. And then we see that, well, perfection, what we're looking for, is right here and right now. I mean, talk about like the perfect state. The perfect state is right here in this moment. When we realize that we can't truly define anything, we're just so free from this endless need to find satisfaction in the future, to need something to change, to need our relationships, our friendships, romantically or otherwise, career, whatever desire you want, whatever circumstances you want. We are freed from the need for them to change, which ironically allows the exact same changes that you desire to come into form into your world. I mean, that's how all my friendships changed, and they just keep growing stronger. All the relationships that I have with my family, my co-workers, my friends, they just keep getting better and better. And richer conversations are always the center, are always taking place. And this is a space where love, connection, success, everything blossoms. And if you want to keep continuing to explore this with me in tangible experiences where I will take you through non-meditative meditations, which means I'll share with you a bunch of reflective questions on how you can let go of your circumstances and explore this infinite essence of who you are, and keep watching my videos.